How you doing? Great. Did you miss it? Did you miss the podcast? It's been a few weeks. You did? Really? Are you just saying that to say that, or are you being serious?
Well, I'm saying that because I bet you didn't invite me soon.
Damn. I guess this just means that we want more Caroline episodes. You guys got to run it up, man. You got to screenshot this episode. We got to put on your. That's the only way the podcast grows right now. You guys are great. You guys have been DMing us the episodes, like, oh my gosh, this has been so helpful, and we've been having really good conversations with you guys about it. Just do us even more of a favor, put it on your story because we want to get this message out to more people. If this has made an impact on you, pay it forward to somebody else out there because it can make an impact on them. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about client retention, the secret to client retention. If there's anything that we've done very, very well in Beyond Built over many, many years now, it is client retention. It is building community. It is making the community the aspect of our business that ultimately runs itself. It is the reason why we've sustained it now for over the last 5 years, and it is why our business will continue to grow. And more than ever right now, especially, we're getting more referrals, we're getting more word of mouth, like so much of that is happening. And it's I mean, you can talk about the impact that this has on your business, but I know you'll say it. It's like you no longer run a business where it's like you're scraping by to how do I acquire as many clients as possible to keep up, to keep my revenue stable at least, to keep it growing. It's like the stability in your revenue comes from retention. Now, talk about the impact that retention has on business.
For sure. So the income piece is part of it.
Yep.
You're no longer running this like revolving door situation where you are on a time crunch to try and acquire the same amount of clients exiting every single month. It's a much more stress-free environment for you. And it does so much for your clients and for your community because now you have people that are on a full year, year 2, year 3, and they're like veterans in your community, and they are helping the other clients in the community. So not only is it helping you with answering questions and supporting your clients better, but the community feel is so much greater because there's people who are experienced, they walk the walk, and they genuinely want to give back to others, and they kind of just pay it forward to the new ones coming in.
We're truly in the business of building relationships, and it's so awesome that we get to do what we do from home and from wherever we want. But when retention is booming and the community is booming and it's so engaged because clients want to stay, and the main reason they do want to stay is really because A, yes, as coaches, we become more valuable for them. And B, the community becomes more valuable. As every single person in the community transforms, the community becomes more valuable. And what happens when the community becomes that valuable? We have clients that are asking you, hey, how can we meet up? Right. And so we've sold out our last 8 retreats. We're trying to bring over 50 clients to our next event in April, which will be absurd, but we're going to do it. We've sold out our 2 private events this month and next month. We actually overfilled them.
Yeah, they're
And like we pitched the idea of, hey, if we did training camps, you guys come in, train for 2 days, train really hard, come home different athletes. You learn protocols, you learn little nuances that are going to make you a better trainer for your coach, for your clients. Our community blew it up. That message just blew up. We're like, oh my God, yes, yes, yes. How do we do this now? And I'm like, wait. We'll launch them next year, but we will sell out every single one next year without a sliver of a doubt. And that's on retention. So number one, Caroline and I, we thought, okay, what's the number one thing that retains a client? And it's really painting the vision. Explain what that means.
painting the vision is giving the client a really, really clear idea of taking them from point A to point Z, right, of where they want to go. And they might only be able to think to C, not Z, A, B, C, as
Yep.
far as they can think. But as a coach, you very well might need to be one person in their life that dreams,
It's not even a might. It is.
yeah, that dreams bigger for them
Yeah.
and can paint that vision of like, hey, I know that you said you want to drop 10 pounds. Realistically, I think you can drop 30 and you have a kick ass physique to step on stage. Then they're like,
Yeah.
oh, you believe in me? And
Yeah.
that's your responsibility as a coach is to believe so hard of them and give them all of the tools to become a different human, right? It's identity transformation. It's
Yep.
not just physique transformation. And with that, on the onboarding call, even if a client signs with us and they're like, hey, I want to drop 50 pounds and they've only signed for 6 months, what I love to tell my clients is, hey, I'm going to give you the vision, the ultimate timeline, because I'm never going to compromise anything that you need based on a certain time frame. And they're like, Oh my god, it's not manipulative. I'm not like, "Hey, you need another package." It's like, "Hey, realistically, for your body and this vision that we want to achieve together, that's what it's gonna
Well, it's responsible to their health.
100%. I think it's
Because 50 pounds in 6 months and that client doesn't resign at month 6, can you guess what happens afterwards?
a rebound.
100%.
That, and it's horribly irresponsible of a coach to say, "Yeah, we can do it in this amount of time frame," and then you wreck their health. You try and get all of this weight off in a short period of time, and it's not responsible to them as a person.
What's super shitty is, like, you don't even know how their body's gonna respond yet. So if you basically guarantee them, "Hey, you're gonna lose 50 pounds in this 6 months," and you haven't actually seen data, you haven't seen how their body's responded, you haven't looked at their biofeedback, and what happens when you're month 2, they're only 2 pounds down, and they're like, "Holy fuck, your program's not working." It's because you set them a poor expectation, and that client immediately is gonna say, "I've had a shitty experience with this coach."
Yeah.
And they're gonna bring that into their next coach and said, "I had a shitty experience with my last coach." And unfortunately, that next coach is gonna have to overcome their mindset and help show them that, like, hey, it isn't supposed to be happening this fast. What you've been told is wrong. And unfortunately, there's a lot of clients that are carrying these beliefs with them into sales calls with you, into programs, into your DMs. And anyways, like, when it comes to painting the vision, guys, like what you said, you might be the only person that is going to fight for them, is going to believe in them at a higher level. It's because you are. It's because you are. The reason why clients come to you guys is because they've been playing small for a very long time. Like, they see A to C because they've only gotten to A to C. And most of the time, I would say 99% of the time, you're going to have a client come to you and it's like, yeah, I want to achieve this. And they've maybe gotten close to that before. They maybe tasted it before. Maybe they've achieved it before. And it's like, I want to get back to where I was in 2023. Right. But why why would why would you help them achieve something that they have before that actually doesn't transform them? It moves them backwards to where they were in the past. And so it's like, hey, I want to lose 20 pounds. And I'm like, great. Well, what do you want that to look like? Well, it's like, yeah, I just want like to be a little bit slimmer. And I'm like, well, do you want that though? Because can you show me who, like, you like to follow on Instagram? Like, are there any athletes that you like to follow? And they show me an athlete, and like, you follow them for a reason. You want to look like them, and they're like, oh, that's like too much. And I'm like, you think it's too much because you don't know how to get there. You think it's too much because you think you can't have that. Is that true? And they go, yeah. So what you're doing, guys, is you're shattering limiting beliefs. A lot of the times, people set goals, but they are just projections of their limiting beliefs. It's what they think they can achieve. It's the limit that they think they can reach. And as a coach, it's your responsibility to have gone through every single one of these phases that this client needs to go through to be like, hey, I've done this. And it's much easier than you think. It's much simpler than you think. I got you. This is going to be way easier than you think. So yes, we're going to take you far and we're going to make this easy for you. Right? Because what took me 8 years to learn, I'm gonna help you learn this in the next 2. Right? So painting the vision to them and saying, "Hey, I think you're playing a little bit small here." And also, at every point, we're gonna get into this in phase 2 here, which I know you mentioned, like, consistent reinforcement, tying down actions into future goals. It's like every bit of progress that they make, again, you reiterate the bigger picture with that. It's like, "Hey, we've seen you now 7 pounds down. This is fantastic. Your waist is slimmer. We're seeing shape come through here. If you keep this going, here's the thing that you need to understand. It isn't just about losing another 10 pounds. We want to get you to a place to where you've seen muscle definition that you maybe haven't seen before. You've been working way too hard for far too long to not see any muscle definition. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to go to the gym just to go to the gym. You want to go to the gym and look like you go to the gym. Is that true? Yes, great. So we're going to keep this going. We're going to keep this going. And here's the thing I'll promise you right now. All right. Once we get you down to this weight and to this look, you're never going to see the previous version of yourself again. You're never going to see the previous version of yourself again because once we get you down here, we're going to reverse diet the right way and we're going to ensure that you only come up maybe 3-4 pounds tops and you maintain this look forever. And what's going to happen is right now you're at 2,000 calories and you're losing fat. Imagine a world where you're eating 2,500 calories, but you're 10 pounds lighter than you are right now. How much would that change your life? Do you ever think that you'd had to do this long diet again? No, you would never ever have to again. So what you're doing right now, you're paying your dues. You're paying your dues. Once you overcome this, you'll never have to do this diet again. That's painting the vision. And they're so on board for that. They're like, oh, fuck yes, I'm never gonna have to do this again. Ah. And then we can even get into further along. It's like, Well, once you get down there, now you get to gain muscle for the first time. Have you ever gained muscle? No. Well, imagine a world, right? You see all these physiques that you like. They're eating so much food. They're training so hard in the gym. They get to build muscle all the time. They don't need a diet because the more muscle that they build, the leaner that they look. You get to be one of those people now. And that's the identity transformation. And that's why at Beyond Built, we say you are an athlete. And we have every single client come in and come out embodying that, acting like that, training like that. So talk about that consistent reinforcement piece as a client progresses along.
Right. So it's the combination of what you said of reinforcing the behavior that they're executing on, but furthermore, how you assume the retention and you assume the larger goal is like, hey, you're crushing your macros right now. And that's awesome because your body is recomping like crazy. It's going to make it even easier for you to execute in a deficit because now you're not trying to figure it out while you're doing it.
Yep.
So you're reinforcing, hey, this is awesome that we're doing this right now. And this is going to serve you so much greater in the future for your next goal that's already coming. So you're already tying down and reinforcing the positive behavior right now. And you're showing them that it's going to be even easier and even easier and even easier. So you're painting that vision for the future by tying their actions down right now. And then when they're in that deficit, it's like, oh my gosh, you're crushing it. You're so consistent. And this is building the foundation for you to not miss in your post diet period so that you're going to maintain all of the results that you kept. And that's how you're going to stay lean in a muscle gaining phase.
Like if you can do this, you can do that. Right.
The entire time that a client is working with me towards one goal, I'm talking about their 6-month goal. I'm talking about their year-long goal. I'm talking about where we're going to be 2 years down the line. Because one, like you said, it does take time for a coach to actually understand the body, to understand how it works. And that's why I've had clients on my roster for like 3+ years. At this point, I had a client for 6 years. Because once you get in that groove and you get addicted to the progress that you're seeing, you're always looking at what's coming next. And it's your job to consistently be pointing their direction forward, pointing their head of their eyes forward, or else they get wrapped up in, oh my God, I lost 20 pounds. Cool, I'm done.
Yep. Facts.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I got this awesome recomp. Cool. I'm going to go back to exactly what I was doing and I don't need to resign. The goal is done. The goal is never done. And that's what tying it back and reinforcing it does is you are instilling that progress is a lifestyle to them.
Yeah. Talk about that. The bigger reason. Because guys, when clients resign with us, I mean, yes, more physical progress is awesome. The reason why we call it beyond the built is because beyond built is something you become. Like that's the identity shift. It's like beyond what you're building. What are you gonna do with it? Who are you gonna become? What are you gonna do with it? Who are you gonna whose lives are you gonna change? Who are you gonna impact? And so when we coach our coaches, as they're moving along this phase, it's like you're gonna go into your first ever gaining phase. You've never done that. As an online coach, if you don't have the experience of truly executing a gaining phase and being very diligent, that was a fucking flying spider. Think about the skill set, the experience that this is going to give you to change someone's life. There are so many men and women out there in the world that have never experienced this and unfortunately might never, ever get to. And that thought and that idea is what should keep you up at night because think about how many people are stuck in this loop of dieting down, doing the same diet next year, dieting down, doing the same diet next year because they've never gotten themselves to a place to where they get to spend 90% of their time in their fitness journey eating more and gaining tissue while staying lean. That's exactly what you get to learn. And now think about how more valuable of a coach, how more valuable of an offer, how much more valuable of a product and a brand and a community that you have now, because now you're giving clients a reason to re-sign with you. Now you're giving your clients a reason to work with you for 3 years, for 4 years. And so when you're painting the bigger purpose and the bigger reason to them, that becomes the vision for them. It's like, this is way bigger than macros. This is way bigger than training. This is way bigger than my progress photo and how I look in the mirror. And that is true transformation. And that is the massive reason why clients stay with us is because they take the coaches that we work with, they take the journey that they go through and they turn that into their product. They turn that into their client roadmap. And so every single client that they help, they now help their clients go through exactly what they did being coached by us. That's everything. And so talk about how you loop in the bigger vision, the bigger purpose, the bigger meaning behind the actions and the work that they're putting in and why that's so important.
For sure. I mean, we can tie down all day that like, hey, you're crushing your macros and you're dropping pounds, and that's awesome. And I'm always tying it back to what is their larger motivation. So I work with moms and I'm like, you are getting this example to your daughters right now that mom can take care of herself and she's a freaking badass. And look, your daughters did your ab workout with you this week. And that's amazing. You're setting this amazing example that women can be strong and not skinny. Oh, I'm tying it back to that identity as an online coach, which is the majority of my roster, tying it back to, damn, you're walking the walk and now your clients are showing that as well. Your clients are seeing that and respecting that. And then I get wins in my check-in of like, dude, my client's so engaged. My community's popping off. They're hitting their macros. Do they see my story doing it? And always tying it back to the identity transformation of who they're becoming and how they're paying it forward. And that's ultimately what drives people. And that's ultimately what really, really matters. So yes, it's the tie down of the action and where they're going on their personal journey, but it's also their larger mission and their identity and how that's shifting and their mission is being fulfilled through doing that.
100%. The last piece here is honestly what a client told me a couple weeks ago. We went to Boca Raton for a client show. And that client wrote a caption in reflection after the show. And he was like, the reason why I keep working with Chad, and now it's year 4. The reason why I keep working with Chad is because I'm so impressed with how much he's grown as a leader that he continues to give me a North Star and a vision for me to look up to and aspire to. And he's always willing to be wrong in his protocols. He's always willing to evolve. He's always willing to make them better. And it's true. Like a lot of the things that I do in training, did in training 3 years ago, or did in nutrition 3 years ago, a lot of it I still do, but some of it I don't anymore because I'm learning through more experience through myself, not just hands-on working with clients, but with myself. I'm working with another coach right now and I'm learning so much all over again. And I literally said it yesterday in my story. It's like, it's actually irresponsible to be a fitness coach without a fitness coach because like there's certifications out there all day long, right? But I can read these books. I can read these books. It's like I can read about water, but I'm not going to learn how to swim until I jump in. And that's the beauty of what having a coach for yourself does, because I can look back at every single coach that I've worked with, and I don't just call them coaches, I call them mentors in my life because I've been able to learn so much from them. And their mindsets, their beliefs, their protocols still are very much weaved into exactly what I produce for clients and the service that I give to clients. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's quite literally why we made our brand is because we want to give you everything that we know so you can serve your clients the same way we serve you. But understand that you will only be able to take a client as far as you've been able to take yourself in your own journey.
Louder.
Yeah.
If you are struggling with the same things that your client are struggling with on their check-in, you get a check-in back and they're like, hey, I fell off this weekend. I stopped tracking at dinner. And we look at your MyFitnessPal and it says the exact same thing. Or, hey, I really struggle when I travel. I don't know how to stay on track. And then you also fuck off when you go on vacation. You don't make the time to get up early and go get a gym session in when you're supposed to. You are not fit to take somebody else through that journey who has the same struggle. And then it's irresponsible and you need to refund that client. You do not need to take that client on because you are just perpetuating your own behavior and your own limiting beliefs onto them. You're not actually going to give them anything successful.
Wow, and just keep going here. If a client comes to you and it's like, hey, I want to see my abs and I want to maintain them year round, but the last time you dieted down and tried to get abs, you started eating cookies, you backed out, you shit the bed. Like, you can't help that client.
Yeah.
You can't help that client because the diet got too hard for you and you didn't learn how to get through that. And it's not just even a mindset thing. It's also sometimes a strategy thing. It's a deload. It's a diet break. It's a pullback. It's a reset. And you keep going. Those advanced dieting techniques, which realistically are necessary for most clients to get abs in a sustainable manner without dying.
I can't tell you the last client I had on my roster, but it was just a straight shot. So like 3 phases.
1000%. But if you have not walked through those phases yourself, you don't know how to also emotionally regulate a client that's having a little bit of a difficult time here. It's like, wow, this is a little overwhelming. This is really hard. It's like, you got this.
Yeah.
But I've been there. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what's next. Like, you can't help that client if they ask you to achieve that goal if you haven't lived it. Same thing with the gaining phase. It's like, hey, I want to gain muscle. I want to build my glutes, right? But the last time you built your glutes, you rebounded in the first 3 months after your diet and you called it a bulk. It's like you can't help a client get through a gaining phase if that's the case. And so when a client comes to resign and they're down 25 pounds and it's like, all right, this is it. Thanks so much. I achieved this. It's like you can't re-sign them because you don't have the conviction to re-sign them into a post-diet phase because you haven't gone through a proper post-diet phase yourself. But if you have, what would you have done, Caroline? You probably would have started educating about post-diet for a full 8 straight check-ins,
8 weeks before
8 weeks before they ended their diet.
off on a call 4 weeks out.
1000% to paint exactly, hey, this is what's happening in this next phase. This is why, hey, it's going to require you to be diligent. You're going to be more hungry. Here are the emotions that you're going to expect, right?
Also, some coach spidey senses that I call it when it comes to being able to read between the lines of different phases. And you don't know without experience, like genuinely, them being able to put these little nuanced things together that you're seeing and that your clients are saying and that they're feeling. And then you're like, ooh, I think that client needs a refeed because maybe you've experienced that previously and you understand that if their body feels a little watery and soft and they're feeling a little tired in the gym, their weight's a little stagnant and these little things start adding up. If you look at their progress photos and if you don't have that experience, you're just going to be like, oh, they just need to diet harder. And that's like not the case at all, right? So you have to have that lived experience. So like when the spidey senses tingle, you're like, oh, I know that because I've been there and I know it.
They don't make a book on spidey senses.
No, but they're a thing. They really
They are. They are because you've been there.
Yeah.
Because you've lived it. Our community is like, I'm so grateful every day for our community and our clients because they keep us on our toes. They give us a purpose and a reason to not miss in our protocols, to show up, to consistently learn, to consistently invest in ourselves, to consistently be wrong. How can we be wrong as many times as possible so we can learn more and share those lessons? It's like we've ripped off the Band-Aid and we started sharing all of our life's lessons, our hardest moments, vulnerably, very honestly to our community. And so many of them have resonated and related. And that's why we filled the freaking house on our community calls and why the community is so engaged and why we have such intimate connection with our clients and why we sell out events. And because like we talk about the real shit with our clients. We talk about the growth that we experience and what we go through. And it's no coincidence that we're helping online coaches right now because we have had to grow and had to evolve as our clients have grown because as our clients grow, they need to solve higher level problems. And in order for us to lead them and help them and guide them in solving higher level problems,
to solve higher level problems.
correct. And we need to continue to stretch ourselves because you have to give your client a very clear reason to continue working with you. It's bigger than what they're going to achieve next with their physique. The reality is a lot of our clients could continue to do it. If we just say, hey guys, we're done coaching you. Just do it. They have the education. They have the tools. Nobody, right? Because like we have not built our coaching brand and our coaching abilities on trying to be as available as possible. We've built our coaching abilities on being very valuable, right? So we don't need to talk to our clients every single day. It's like in one freaking Super Bowl of a 5-minute check-in, they hear everything that they need to go into that week and be like, yo, wake the fuck up. It's time to go. Right. And that's the huge reason people resign with us. It's like, I want your leadership. I want your accountability. One of my clients told me something very impactful. I'll never forget it. At this last event that we did, she was just like, you make it really easy for us to continue setting the bar higher, to stretch our goals and our vision because we see how much you do that yourself. And I'll never forget that. And that's why it's my responsibility to continue to stretch and expand as uncomfortable as it is. I have to set that standard and I have to set that example because a lot of these clients that are working with you, they don't have that in their lives. They don't have that in their direct environment. And they look to you as someone who is absolutely aspirational and you have to give them a reason. I have to give them a reason to follow your footsteps. Cool, guys. That's the episode. That's Client Retention 101. Hope that helped. Again, if you got value from it, snag a screenshot, put it up on your Instagram story, tag us, and we'll see you in the next one.